Traditionally, you get to certain dates, May 1, June 1, July 1, you can say, all right, it's something's in the books. We got a month in the books. John, we know that here on WIP, and I think throughout the Delaware Valley, there's been more complaining than praising.
I'll say.
So here's what I want to kind of get at today. Where do you stand now? And we'll have these benchmarks through the season. You always have them. Some people say Memorial Day. Some people say the 4th of July. Some people say the trade deadline. My brain kind of thinks in terms of the end of a month, the start of a month. That's where I typically go. And then obviously when you get to the 81 game mark as you're halfway through. But I am struck by this fact, which may I'm going to give you a fact, and I'm going to give you an opinion. Now, first off, I want to be clear. We can react to last night. Now, obviously, that's totally on the table at 215-592-9494. And I think the biggest thing last night was Christopher Sanchez. While the offense was exciting to see all the home runs, obviously, 3 home runs. Matter of fact, let me get a little taste of Schwarber here. Let me get a little sense. Early in the game, 2 on, 1 out. Kyle Schwarber, first inning.
Irvin ready. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, hit in the air, right field, pretty deep. Going back, turning, looking, and that is gone. And Kyle Schwarber goes down and gets one on an 0-2 pitch. And it's a 3-run home run here in the bottom of the first as once again Schwarber strikes first.
So, look, obviously you can react to last night, the 3 home runs and that whole deal. But I think Sanchez is the biggest deal. Because, James, you know how freaked out you were.
Terrified.
As recently, was it about a week and a half ago?
Yeah, the last time he pitched.
Yeah.
Like, you really his first start then.
You really wondered if he was going to pitch again this season.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And he not only pitched, he pitched well, and obviously didn't go like so deep in the game. They were being careful there. But so you get Sanchez back out there. He gets the win. So that's really big. And by the way, Ranger coming back soon. He's going to be pitching on Sunday. So, okay, you can react to last night. John, I'm going to give everyone a fact and an opinion. Fact, and I think this will surprise most. Through a month of the season, the Phillies are on pace for 92 wins. That's a really good record if you get to 92 and 70. They are on pace for 92 wins. That's the fact. Here's the opinion. I think the Phillies are much more likely to play better in the next 5 months than worse.
Absolutely.
So what do we got, John?
We're trending up. We've got, think about this. Kyle Schwarber is playing like he played last night, and it's not even close to June. Kyle Schwarber is ahead of schedule, way ahead. Kyle Schwarber's leading our team in on-base percentage, 398, which, and I heard, hey, you take him out of the leadoff spot and he's not going to be able to hit anymore. Everything's sorting itself out. Everything as it should when you're, in the top 5 in terms of payrolls in baseball. We got studs. And we're trending up, I guess, as we should be when we're playing a team like the Nationals. And I heard they were spunky heading into this series, right. But
they stink.
They're not good. And we better sweep them today. Things are better than they've been, and you got to keep an open mind and your eyes on the prize here. We should feel pretty good about the fact that Ranger Suarez is coming back. Ranger Suarez, who hasn't pitched yet this year, is. And it sounds like there's excitement in Topper's voice when he talks about Ranger coming back.
I agree.
And it sounds like there's excitement in Topper's voice when he's not even considering bullpen for Ranger Suarez. He's talking about hey, here's our rotation. Ranger's going to be part of it. Things are falling into place. Bryson Stott is batting .297. Things are falling into place with the leadoff rotation thing. Bryson Stott's doing a nice job there. Trey Turner, at times, has done a nice job doing that, too. It's Schwarber, like I said, awesome. Rojas, no matter how much you hate the idea of Johan Rojas
I'm stunned, John. I mean, listen, I can't hate it.
He's batting .304. Look, he's putting bat to ball. Last night, it wasn't pretty. It's a weak dribbler, but it's right up the middle, and it's where they ain't. And you get him on base, and he's a weapon. So 304 for Rojas. All the way at the bottom of our batting averages, you've got Bryce Harper, Alec Bohm.
Yeah.
I know that's not going to stay that way. That's 234, 221. I know Bryce Harper and Alec Boehm aren't this bad offensively. That's going to pick up. So everything's trending up. Casty and Bryson are leading the team with 30 hits apiece. Schwarber and Harper, 26 right behind them. 25 hits is Alec Boehm. It's not that bad for Alec Boehm, despite all the ups and downs. He is going to get this thing on track, despite really bad attitude, and I don't know if it's going to all fit together in terms of meshing personality-wise.
Yep.
But I do feel good about where this team is headed.
Here's the deal. I'm really struck, and obviously the small picture, meaning last night, that's totally on the table for you, 215-592-9494. But I'm wondering in the big picture with a month down and 5 to go, if you are of the mind, like John's maybe even too optimistic the way I mean, so I'm happy that they've rebounded. And look, I've believed in them more than most this whole way through. I mean, I don't freak out when they're whatever they were, 13-13. But I mean, I can't act like I wasn't concerned. I think the bullpen's a legit concern. I think the fact that they do still have an inconsistent lineup, and I don't think that's going to change. Just because they hit 3 home runs last night doesn't mean they're not going to have their games with 1 run scored. They're going to probably have plenty of them because they are an aggravating lineup, let's be real. But here's the thing I come back to more than anything, and it's what I came back to when the season started. The starting pitching is too good to not likely pace toward 90 wins in a playoff spot. I mean, it's just too good. I mean, I got Zach Wheeler. He's a stud. Nola, he's been a concern. There's no question. Historically, he's been good, but he's been a concern. I got Sanchez, obviously, is not derailed with an injury. He was back last night. I got the, help me out, the new guy, Luzardo.
And Luzardo's been awesome.
Luzardo looks
way
fantastic.
better than I ever could have expected.
And I'm about to get my favorite Philly back. Ranger is my favorite Phil, and I think he's normally pretty good.
Ranger's got very frosted tips. Very frosted tips. And we don't discuss this much. Joe, if you really love Ranger that much, why not frost your tips for your competition with Jack Fritz?
Because I'm not a Backstreet Boy.
Okay.
Oh, but what about you're not a Philly either? Is that what you're saying?
You're a Ranger Suarez fan.
I love him. I do.
And
guy's
look,
cool, man.
You could pattern yourself in his image with some frosted tips for the contest.
Yeah.
The athletic competition. You'd look good, man.
Well,
I'd take some years off.
Beat Fritz any which way. I do have to start, getting the gray out of my hair.
Hold on. What about the competition?
We'll get to that. You hold on.
Doesn't seem like you've been talking about it at all.
Here's the deal. I want to hear from everyone at 215-592-9494. Now,
changing the subject.
So I am, because I'm trying to get to James. What do we've got with our squad? Seltzer, it's been a month. What do we got?
I'm a lot more conflicted with this team than you guys are. I mean, you gave the fact of they're on a 92 win pace.
Did that surprise you?
No, because I know numbers. I know they're 17-13. I'll give you a fact that might surprise you. How about this?
What?
Guess how many teams in the National League have a better run differential than the Phillies?
All right, so how many teams are in the league? Like 15 in the league? 15. So it sounds like, based on the way you said it, it's going to be like 8.
There are 9 teams that have a better run differential than the Phillies. The Phillies have the 10 best run differential in the National League.
You know what that means, James?
It means that their record is better than it should be.
It means they got out close wins.
I'm concerned.
They got him out.
I'm concerned about this team. Here's the thing. Look, we all know that at the end of the day, they could get hot in October, and we've seen the last few years that if they can get hot in October, bats-wise, that matters. I keep pounding this, but I look at this team, and this bullpen is just not close to good enough to win. Like, it's not close to good enough. They need, like, 2 more guys that we trust. Even then, the guys we trust, like, outside of Alvarado, who I trust more than you, like, I don't have faith when any of those guys
What about when those 2
game. Guys
in October are named Painter and Ranger?
We'll see. I hope they
you
are.
Admit, that could
it could happen.
Totally change
you got to get
the
there
bullpen.
healthy. You got to make the full season with those guys. With all these pitchers staying healthy, all these pitchers staying competitive. Like, it's a long season, and that's why I'm not freaking out.
Yeah.
But I am concerned about the way this team is put together, and they're going to have to make moves at the deadline. Like, I don't think the team that we have now is good enough right now.
So I'm going to give you a prediction. I gave you a fact, John, earlier. I gave you an opinion. Now I'm going to give you a prediction. More people that call in today at 215-592-9494 will agree with James than where you and I are. But we'll find out. Look, the floor is yours. You let us know, guys, how you feel. what you think we've got with our squad. What do we got?
We have so much potential that's
there's no
it's
question.
not even close to tapped. Like this has been a bunch of, like, we've thrown the word stud out there 3 times now in this open. We got a bunch of studs, like an all-star team, who are underperforming. That's what the start of the season has been, to my eye.
Or they're getting older and they're not studs anymore.
Yeah,
like
that
JT
happens.
Realmuto is not a stud anymore.
James Bradbury in 1 year.
Absolutely.
Bradbury went in 1 year from being
All the
awesome to
time.
horrible.
All the time.
Yeah.
And these guys
And that's a
are
different
turning
sport.
30, 31, 32, 33. Like, that's when things change. Like, 29 to 30, different thing. These guys are getting into the mid-30s.
Trey Turner's not a stud.
Trey Turner's not a stud.
Not a stud.
And guess what?
Not a
I hate
stud.
to say it. He's never going to be again. Like, that's where I'm at with Trey Turner. I'm hoping for the best out of the guy, but he's never going to come close to paying off that $300 million contract.
Is it realistic for him to make the switch away from shortstop?
Yes,
during the season.
During the season,
It is unrealistic
they're just
that
not.
will happen.
They're not going to do it.
It's not even a real. Like, it's not a reality that it could happen.
They will not do it. So, all right, Phils, what do we got in your opinion? 1 month through, 215-592-9494.